Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Free Banter and Insights. Today we'll be doing our Premier League Game Week review. I have along with me Varun and Manan, and of course we have a 12-year-old Ahan along with us to do the match day analysis. So what I'll do is I'll just go through the fixtures and then we'll spend some time evaluating each one. So the early game kicked off with Newcastle drawing 2-2 against Chelsea at home. Newcastle were 2-0 up, and then Chelsea fought back to earn a point. Uh, Following that, Brentford got a away win at Wolves. Manchester City dismantled West Ham, and whoever had Haaland as a triple captain got 48 points. Brighton and Sunderland played out a nil-nil draw. Bournemouth and Burnley played out a 1-1 draw. Spurs lost to Liverpool at home 1-2. I think the game completely changed after the Simon's red card. A very surprising result from the weekend was Leeds beating Crystal Palace 4-1. Arsenal and Arteta got a very hard fought win at Everton, which wasn't as easy as expected. And Villa got a great win at United, and I possibly feel this was a very good Manu performance despite the result. So let's start with the early game first. So, guys, what was your comment on the Newcastle Chelsea game?
So I saw the first half and I was noticing that Newcastle were really on top and
Yeah.
like it did not feel like Chelsea were sort of the bigger team going into the match. So like we were discussing yesterday with Varun that it's a very sort of, you can say it's a competitive league, but it's also a very inconsistent league. Like teams are not taking the opportunities they get to create distance between themselves and the other, and that's what's keeping like teams like Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool, United sort of in the mix still. In many other seasons, with the record that we've had, or all these teams have had, there would be a much more gap between them and the top four, top five teams. But yeah, like for the first half that I saw, it was all Newcastle largely, and they were playing really well. A lot of and Voltemade. Yeah, Ahan, you want to say something?
Yes, I think it was a really good game. The comeback for Chelsea was good because of Reece James' free kick. And yeah, it was a good comeback.
Yeah, like it sort of came out of the blue, na? Like the free kick going in, and then sort of Chelsea getting a bit more control of the game.
Chelsea got in control of the game more in the second half.
Hmm.
They got in position. So yeah.
So, just a couple of thoughts here. One, as Manan rightly said, Newcastle completely dominated the game to begin with, and Voltemada got his goals very well. In fact, there was a chance for him to get his third as well that could have
Yeah.
completely ended the game right there. Second half, based on what Maresca's post-match interview and some of the comments which I read on Twitter, he wasn't completely, let's say, pissed with his players. He felt that the spaces which needed to be attacked were still there, and he kept a similar momentum in the team. And Reece James, we've seen at St. James Park scoring great goals in the past as well. And earlier this season, again, he scored a very good free kick. And yesterday again, day before yesterday again, I think he scored a beautiful free kick. Cole Palmer also could have shot, but then I think it was the right decision to let James take it. And João Pedro's goal was superb. I think it was reminiscent of a early Didier Drogba. Gets the ball first time from the keeper, controls it really well, gets into the box and just slots it past the keeper. And I think on the whole, first half, I think Newcastle deserved to win it. And second half, Chelsea didn't deserve to lose it. So I think a draw is a fair result in the grand scheme of things. On Manan's point, wherein teams are not, let's say, taking their chances to open up a gap, I think it's one, the quality of the league. The second, it's about, I think, all the teams have players who are extremely tired. Like, especially if I look at Chelsea, the Club World Cup basically meant that they have only 3 weeks of rest. And a lot of players who are in and out, I think it's very difficult. Like, for example, I'm actually worried about Cucurella. He's someone who's starting every game week in, week out, and it's only a matter of time before he picks up a serious injury. So, yeah, I think as a Chelsea fan, I was happy with the point away at St. James Park. I think we could have definitely lost that game.
What was your view on the penalty incident?
I don't think it was a penalty to be like, if I look at it objectively, I don't think it was a penalty according to me.
This is the Gordon's penalty incident.
There were two actually. There was one this, and there was also a red card which could have been there towards the end. I think
Uh-huh.
both the cases. I think it wasn't like, I think the ref got it right both the cases. In fact, the best piece of play which I saw in the game was not even the Reece James free kick. It was a tackle which he made last ditch to prevent Harvey Barnes from getting a goal. I think
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
speed of the tackle and the way he, avoided that shot was brilliant.
For me, I'm really surprised how Newcastle didn't win that game. Like the number of chances they had and the quality of chances that they had was unreal. And I think this is where I would say, they need to be much, much more clinical in such games. I mean, letting a two goal lead slip, and also like they could have easily had 4 goals in this game, given the kind of positions they got into, the chances they created, and everything. I think it's more of a 2 point drop for Newcastle than anything else. They should have won that game.
Quick trivia question:
100%.
how many points have Newcastle dropped from winning positions in the league this year?
Would be a lot.
11.
11. Ahan, any guesses?
Yeah, even I think 11.
Haru,
11 is the right amount.
11 from winning position.
from winning positions.
Yeah, 11 means 5 games out of 17. I would say 13 or 14.
13 is the correct answer.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, I mean, one third of the games at least. Yeah.
If you, yeah, so even like I was just doing an analysis wherein if you look at some of the points that United have dropped, and if you look at the points dropped by Newcastle from winning positions, both of them could comfortably be ahead of Chelsea at this point of time.
Yeah. Yeah. United have also like led in a lot of games and then drawn them or lost them.
Hmm. But वैसे बोल नहीं सकते, right? Like it's all ifs and buts kind of a
Correct,
thing.
correct. No, it's just
And
it's just a fun way
yeah,
of looking at certain facts and then
yeah.
disrupting those.
It's fair enough. But yeah, I mean, I think Newcastle kind of missed an opportunity over there.
Hmm.
And then if they would have won, they would have still been much closer to the rest of the pack in terms of the top five or top six finish. But
Honestly, Varun, I think if you look at the table even right now, the 14th place Bournemouth is at 22 points, if I'm not wrong. And
hmm,
Chelsea in fourth is 29 points. So I
Hmm.
think till the time there is a 12-point gap, or at least a double-digit gap, within 2 to 3 game weeks, the entire situation can change. Like for instance, Chelsea face Villa during the Christmas period, and that is going to be definitely a very, very tough game for Chelsea. Then Chelsea face City again. So I think it's going to make a big difference in the table.
Yeah. I mean, I think not just 1 month back, Bournemouth were in the top four, right? And now they are 14. So it's a very dynamic table, right?
yeah.
On the subject of Bournemouth, since we were discussing, where do you see Semenyo ending up?
I think he'll stay at City, Bournemouth in the winter window, and maybe Liverpool in the summer.
I will be really, really surprised if they let him go in Jan.
He has a release
And
clause, so
I,
they have
yeah,
no
I will
power.
be surprised if he doesn't go in Jan, because he has a 65 million release clause which is applicable only till the 10th of Jan. So if they don't exercise, or if some team doesn't exercise that, I think then there's no chance of someone overpaying even beyond 65.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So any chance United break the bank for him?
No, we don't have the money for him. Yeah. If we have 65 million, then we'd rather go and buy one or two midfielders.
Also, they have a lot of players in that position, right? They are lacking the
Yeah.
midfield strength, but a right wing, left wing, or right left wing inside, they have a lot of players in that position stacked up. So yeah, the one I see is Liverpool. Liverpool could
Yeah.
actually kind of they seem to be the most highly likely contender to get him. So yeah,
Okay,
if
moving
we
to,
wouldn't have signed if we wouldn't have signed the Chelsea player, I would have said ki go for Semenyo.
I think Madueke has really outshone himself.
No output.
What are you saying? Madueke no output.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think um his he's good at dribbling. He's good at getting past players, but when it comes to the last final pass or the last final finish or something like that, his I think he has a long way to go. He in that point, he's literally like 5 on 10 right now. So that is something that he really needs to improve. I hope he does. And of course, he's very young, so there is a high ceiling over there. But that is something that needs to kind of improve in his game quite a lot. So, and till the time you don't get that output in terms of numbers, the last quality of finish or the last quality pass that requires to get to find out the striker or the other attackers, I think ठीक है तुम approach play कर लोगे, but then that is going to run out after a while. So yeah.
So on the subject of Madueke and Arsenal, let's move on to a hard-fought win at Goodison Park. Varun, what was your thought on this game?
I think Everton played better than I expected. I mean, also I think Arsenal. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritties of the game. Just the overall view in the way Arsenal played was. I feel they need to move the ball faster. I think that is a pattern that they are getting stuck into for last few games. I think they are holding on to the ball. Just every player is taking 2 or 3 touches too many. Like they need to move the ball faster. It has to be more one touch, two touch passing. Don't run with the ball too much. Like I think that needs to come back into their game significantly. The second point is I think uh, they have to step up their vision in terms of finding Gyökeres. You have to involve him much more in the game somehow because right now he just seems like a passenger in the game. Like his contribution in the game is close to nothing, but that's also because a lot of times we are too slow in finding him. Like he's making the run, but no one is able to catch that run. Correct? Because we are dwelling on the ball too much. So we need to get that out of the system. We need to find that the best pass that Gyökeres got, or the good chance that Gyökeres got, was Saliba passing it to him instead of our midfielders passing to him. So like this is something that really needs to improve upon, I feel, if they want to do something. And the third thing I would say, just an overall takeaway, is the output of Odegaard. Like I was talking about Maduaki, but I think Odegaard's output has dropped significantly as well. Like I love the player. Like he has a great carrying ability, great dribbler, good passer. But for some reason, again, he's dwelling on the ball too much. His output in terms of assists and goals has significantly dried out. Um, I think, and if you see the Arsenal's position or Arsenal's form as well, you can actually map it with Odegaard coming back and Odegaard replacing Eze in that number 10 role, and then the drop off in the number of goals or the quality of chances that we have created in the last few games since he has started for Arsenal. So I think that needs to be looked at significantly. And the last point would be it's something similar to what we were discussing about Liverpool in the first 5 games. Like you can get these results and you can win a few of these games, but till the time your performance doesn't kind of start improving, eventually things are going to catch up. So there's only a limited number of times you will end up winning such 1-0 games, close games, nick out a few 2-1s, or like such close encounters. But eventually you have to start performing, unless if not, then you'll start dropping points. Like that is going to happen. It happened with Liverpool. And if Arsenal don't improve their gameplay in terms of going forward and kind of creating chances, it will happen to Arsenal as well. And we saw that in the middle, right? We drew to Sunderland, we drew to Chelsea, we lost to Villa. I think those points, 7 points in a run of like 4 or 5 games. Also, it was a difficult period. But then this can happen far more frequently if the on-field performance doesn't improve. So yeah.
Did you happen to catch the game?
Yeah, so I think that Arsenal needed to work better on the build up that game because they had many chances, but all of them got wasted. Also, I think Gyökeres kind of ghosted that match because he didn't really do anything, but at the end of the match, he did score the winning penalty. But yet, Arsenal had missed a lot of chances. Everton played pretty good that match.
Is Declan Rice the best or the most important player for Arsenal right now?
Yes, I think far more important than what people think he is.
Yeah, because
Uh,
if I just imagine this squad without Rice right now, I think
it
it's
looks
gonna
smack
impact them.
bang average.
Yeah.
Like his contribution in terms of going back, his contribution in terms of moving, like he's the only player who's very right now moving the ball very fast. Right, he's the player who's actually adding momentum from the midfield when we are moving forward. So defensive attributes in terms of like helping the defense, attached to that the momentum that he is getting in terms of going forward, his leadership skills in terms of motivating the players, and to top it off, his skill at the set plays, where his delivery is both from free kicks and the corners is crazy. So I think right now, like people don't realize how important he is in the team. So yeah, one of the most valuable players, I would say.
So just
I
one more.
think he is probably the best 100 million signing in history.
Mm,
Mm,
not yet.
Like Bellingham and
he
him. Who else is?
I think the tenure needs to improve. Like the tenure need, like he needs to do this for a longer period of time.
But
And
even now, like, what is the
Arsenal need to
competition?
win something.
But what is the competition like in terms of 100 million signings? Even today, what is the competition?
How much did the Barcelona pay for Suarez?
Like 60, 70 odd million.
Acha. Hmm. I don't know how much did
Maybe
Bayern pay for Kane.
close to 100.
No, Kane is by far the best signing of the lot. Yeah, there's no. Matlab,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 100 million, but he's by far the best. 100 goal
But
contribution, 78 games right now.
yeah. No, I was thinking more about 100 million, and Kane perhaps was 100 also. I think if you count all the actual fees and the legal fees and stuff to take Neymar to Barcelona, then Neymar would also be in the conversation. Like the actual fee totaled up to more than 100 million for sure.
Hmm.
See, according to me, Rice is extremely important to this Arsenal side and a great signing. But till the time you win titles, you're never a,
Exactly.
there's no competition, right? मतलब क्या किससे compare करेगा तू? Even if he like plays every single minute of every single game, but in his
Yeah.
tenure, if Arsenal don't win more than one title also, he's
Correct.
still going to be an average player.
Correct.
But
Absolutely.
if you look at the other end of the spectrum, someone like a Luka Modric, who went to Madrid and won 5 or 6 Champions League, now that is the definition of how big a player can be at the right club. So going from Spurs to Madrid, failing miserably in his first season, being called the worst signing in Madrid history, and then turning it around and basically
No, I
dominating,
don't think that was the case with Modric. Huh? Like
right?
being called the worst signing in history and all of those things.
There was a
He
big
was good.
no. See the first scene in the
No, 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 no. I was in Madrid at that time, as Anita.
At least the
इंडिया में
papers,
बैठ के तो लग रहा था कि ऐसा है.
uh, the papers
But
had a good fun around it.
yeah. Yeah, it was touted that he's too weak. He's too lean and weak to kind of do anything. And then Mourinho was like, no, like I want this player kind of a thing. So yeah.
But again, coming back to the subject, so I think Rice for Arsenal is extremely important. I want to understand from Varun, you see almost every single Arsenal game. Has Rice gotten a break at all this season?
Uh, a little bit of Champions League games, Carabao Cup games. But yeah,
Acha.
I think the way the amount he's been utilized, I think there's a great chance of him getting burnt out by the end of the season.
Yeah,
So
I think that is the inference which I wanted to come up with is Kiar, if he sustains this kind of activity, will it
yeah.
actually hinder England's chances at the World Cup?
No, see, of course, that can come into the picture, and it also depends on how much injury he picks up, like how the rest of the season goes. But I would also say, ki, see, this comes down to again like the game management, right? See, if Arsenal in yesterday's game, like how City were winning 3-0, right at 70th minute. If Arsenal is winning 3-0 at 70th minute, you remove Declan Rice for the last 15-20 minutes. Correct? You get on Marino. The game can be managed. So you when you're 3-0 up, you don't need Declan Rice on the pitch. You have enough capable backups to kind of fill in that role. But because every game is getting stretched and we are kind of struggling to close down every game, that's where all of these players see it's not just physical, also it's mental, also, right? Mentally, you have to be switched on till the 95th minute.
Hmm.
Correct. Whereas if you are winning 3-0, you can take it easy. You can rotate the ball, keep the possession of the ball. Mentally, you are more relaxed. You're not exhausted. In games like this, it's like you're having a war every game, right? It is mentally exhausting over the season, physically, mentally, and that's why I think it's not sustainable. So something that really, really needs to be looked at Arsenal, like you cannot have game after game where you are kind of struggling to close it out, or it is close going into the 85th minute or 80th minute.
That leads us nicely into the Man City game. Before that, I've just sent a article on the chat wherein he was voted La Liga's worst signing in 2013, Luka Modric. Okay, coming back on track, how dominant have City been recently? Like, let's start with Manan this time because he's a very silent observer till now.
No, I mean they have been very dominant, and it's the flow has come back to their game, right? I think maybe 3 weeks back we were discussing where they were still a little inconsistent, like winning one very comfortably and then drawing or losing the other one. But in the past 3 weeks, they've just upped the ante, and like whatever tactical tweaks that Pep has tried to make with this new sort of squad that he's had, they're that's sort of coming to shape now, and there's more flow in their game. And when City play like this, it's very difficult for any team to stop them. So like now it's like I can see Arsenal being so fearful of how City are playing. Like every single, like I think from now on, Arsenal can't afford to drop a single point. That's basically what it is now, because City have sort of gotten into that gear now where like in the past few seasons also when they were competing with Liverpool from November December onwards, you couldn't afford to drop a single point, which is where I feel it has gone to now.
Ahan,
For
what is
me,
your sorry?
the
Um,
crucial point was them finding that triangle of Foden, Shirky, and Haaland. That combination was is what he found 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, and after that you can see the difference, right? I think that is, according to me, the biggest change that has happened in that team. Being able to trying to identify that combination and then combination successfully working. And I don't think that combination is going to change unless they have an injury right now, because all the three players, they're linking up really well with each other. So I think that is the biggest difference that has happened, according to me.
Ahan, how good is Ryan Cherky according to you?
Ryan Cherky is playing pretty good. He's kind of like in all positions right now. He's helping the team a lot. And City, I think, bought him last season. And ever since, City has become a really good team. And I think City are to go 3 points away from being first on the Premier League table. So Arsenal can't afford to lose, or else they're going to be second. And City has to win one or two more matches, and they have to be more consistent. They are already consistent, but they have to be on that track.
Go for it, Manan. Manan, you wanted to share something?
No, no, I'm okay.
Okay. So, just a couple of thoughts on City and how they are leading. So again, I've read some articles and some quotes. So, Guardiola had called Matheus Nunes the best player in the world 3 seasons back when he played against his team. He signed him as a midfielder and then he has converted him into a right back. And this season, I think Nico O'Reilly and Matheus Nunes have really, really been very, very good as a combination. Like, I think if you see whenever City have won, I think both of them have been in the squad. And like Varun rightly mentioned, the access of Haaland, Foden, and Cherki has been brilliant. But just the gameplay between Cherki and Foden, it's like Joga Bonito, right? It's like beautiful football. They understand each other's games. They make runs off the ball. So it's really fun to watch. And I think this is the first time in a long time I am seeing Guardiola kind of going the anti Guardiola way, which is less control and more action. He's allowing his players to take risks. He's allowing his players to get into positions which normally he would be a little afraid of committing so many bodies forward. And at least till now, it's working. And yeah, but it'll be interesting to watch. I think so. For me, if you ask me, my wish list would be Villa winning the Premier League, but the combination of City and Arsenal fighting it out is a close second.
So I think like Pep has gotten his Ancelotti groove on, where I feel he's just so exhausted by being in this job. He's like, I just got the best players for every position, and like you guys do whatever the hell you want to do. We have Haaland, you get the ball to him, and he's gonna score. Like he doesn't. He's not really like caring about the tactics anymore. He has like two, three really key players in key positions, and like okay, just do your thing, and we'll be okay.
But
That's a good
also
segue.
talking
Also,
about the
yeah,
Premier
go ahead,
League
Ahan.
table, I think the first four places, Arsenal, Man City, Aston Villa, and Chelsea, they're really fighting it out because Aston Villa and Chelsea 1 point difference, and Aston Villa and Man City also 1 point difference. So anything can happen. There are many more matches left. If Man City lose, then Aston Villa win, then anything can happen. So yeah, it's a really close fight.
Yeah, I mean, coming so again, like a great segue to Aston Villa versus United. And before Manan dives into that game, Aston Villa have been crazy in form. Yeah, like it's unreal how their season has changed after the first 5 games. So
10 wins in a row, Varun. And this is the
yeah,
first time in
crazy.
100 years of league football wherein the same manager at Aston Villa has won two stretches of 10 wins in a row, which is insane. Another,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'll ask you guys straight up. If Emery had been given As much time as Arteta has got at Arsenal, do you think Arsenal would have been champions already?
No.
I mean, see, I love Emery as a manager, right? Like even when we were sacking Emery, I was like, like I don't think we should give him more of a leeway and more of a long rope, and let's see where it goes. It's just that I feel Emery is not a manager that can manage big names. Like we saw that at PSG as well. We saw that at Arsenal as well, where he was struggling to manage the likes of Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and therefore I feel like
Varun, one second. There's some voice dilation. 1 second. Manan, Ahan, are you able to hear Varun properly?
No.
I
But
think his
I'll
voice.
just sort of give my two bits on this. I think Arteta, he's had a lot of backing from the media also. Even when they were not doing so well, the fans did not really turn on him as much as they turned on Emery. Media did not turn on him as much as they did on Emery. So, like, a manager can only survive also when he has backing of the fans, despite bad results. And Emery was not getting that. Like, it's, I mean, it's like the poison chalice, right? Like replacing a legendary manager who's been there for over 2 decades. It will happen to any person who's going to replace such kind of a iconic figure. So it's a poison chalice, and I really don't feel that Emery would have won the title even if he would have gotten such a long rope, because he would really not have gotten, like, maybe half a season more, maybe 1 season more, but he would not have gotten like 4 or 5 seasons to build the team up which Arteta did.
Okay. So, Manan, why don't you go around dissecting the Villa United game?
It was such a heartbreak, yeah. Like, we played well. United played well despite all the injuries. Even after Bruno was injured and like substituted out, United were creating
Just
chances.
one question on that. Do you think it was right for him to continue? Because when you feel something on your hamstring, best to like leave the pitch, right? Why unnecessarily make it worse?
Bruno is that kind of a character. Like, he he doesn't want to leave the field ever, and like it's never happened with him also that he's had to leave the field before. I don't remember such a thing happening in like the 5 years that he's been at the club. So it's okay. It's 20 25 odd minutes. He took a call along with the medical team, and they decided to see how it goes. But yeah, the gameplay was, I mean, it wasn't fantastic, but it was good. I think United were the better team on the night, and the better team did not win. Uh, we had two big errors, which led to open space for Rogers, and he had like out of the world finishes, especially the first one. Like, so they scored with very low XG goals and or XG shots on target, which were also a result of the defender's mistake and the midfielder's mistake. But really, like, it was not a game that United deserved to lose at all. So yeah, heartbreaking, but the performance is there, which, like, I've been crying about this since, like, even in that 4 5 week period where United were consistently winning every game. I was still talking about the fact that we are winning, but the performance is not there. So now the performance is there, and hopefully, like, consistently, if we are performing this way, then it will result into a consistent run of wins also eventually. So I'm happy about that. And with the injuries we've sustained and with the absences to key players for the Afcon, this was a very positive performance overall.
Two questions. How bad was Ugarte and how good was Licha in midfield?
So Ugarte was really poor. So what Amorim did was he sort of tweaked the formation a little, wherein Ugarte was playing the, like, a proper six with no one next to him, and then Mount had dropped deep a little, so it was sort of a three-man midfield with Bruno and Mount and Ugarte in the hole. But he is a good ball winner when he is playing consistently. But that's what he is. There is no passing ability whatsoever. And like in this team, you need a six who can pass. Even in a two-man midfield or a three-man midfield, you need a six who can pass. Like some of the passes he was making were so wayward. Even in the goals that Rogers scored, especially in the first one, Ugarte should have like covered a bit more, helped out Yoro a bit more. So he was so poor. And Licha was so I was telling Varun yesterday when we were watching the game together. Licha used to play DM sometimes when he was at Ajax, and he has the passing range. Like he's a very creative centre back, so he has sort of the passing range to play in midfield also. So, and just the fact that we were still creative and we were still sort of uh, controlling, had control of the game to a large extent in the second half was down to Licha being just so good. And I can't wait to see him back as the left centre back also with like two proper midfielders ahead of him.
Ahan, what were your views on the game?
I think the game was really good. Aston Villa made a comeback in the second half, but I think Manchester United won in the possession because they had the ball for more time. Some chances they could have sealed the game, but it was a really close game, and I think Man United did well.
That Cunha chance was so guilt edged. Like,
Yeah, the header, right?
yeah, yeah, that header. Oh my god. We were discussing that for the first time in his life. Patrick Dogu has made a good cross. Pinpoint on his head. He just has to like place the header. No power
It is
required also.
it is the element of surprise when you're not expecting the ball to be there.
Even Kunya was surprised. Oh, ये कैसे आ गया मेरे तक? Yeah,
वो
but
सेकंड बॉल के लिए ऑलरेडी प्लान कर रहा था.
I
But a
swear,
couple of views on Rogers, Varun. What did you think of his performance?
crazy finishes. Yeah, crazy finishes. Like both of them, like just perfect, right? And I think like his form and Villa's form have been so aligned with each other, right? Like um again, like he played really well against Arsenal as well. Again, coming and playing such a high quality game against United, and with the kind of finishes that he did, I think just amazing. Like kudos to him. And then we were discussing, right? Like Manan was saying yesterday as well that if he keeps the same form going till the World Cup, then very high likelihood that he's in a shout to start, basically. But
He can be
let's
the
see.
first choice left winger, honestly, because he
Sorry.
comes inside. He can be the first choice left winger.
That's what he was saying. That's what Manan was saying yesterday as well. That if he keeps the form going, he can easily be the first choice left winger for England. And I mean, of course, I would definitely play him ahead of Rashford, someone like Rashford, and like a couple of other players. But let's see. Again, like sometimes it's just like like players are in that purple patch for like period of 6 months and then they drop off. Hopefully, that's not the case with him. And yeah, I think also again like shout out to Emery. He's done a great job with him as well, right? So yeah.
Can
So
Villa win the title?
Carrick was just to interrupt here. Carrick
Yeah.
was sort of a pundit on the game on Sky Sports, and when Carrick was managing Middlesbrough, Morgan Rogers was playing for them. So Rogers was a City prospect who transferred to Bara, and then he transferred to Villa. And Carrick was asked by the presenter that, how do you see his progress having coached him? He's like, I always knew he would like achieve this level, but the pace that he's achieved it at has surprised me also. Like I did not think he would be so good so soon. So I
So
think a lot of it has got to do with Emery also and the coaching and the mentorship that Emery is giving him.
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
anecdote here. When you mentioned that Morgan Rogers was in Middlesbrough under Carrick, At that point of time, I remember Ishan sharing, you know, a message with me. Watch out for this kid. He's gonna be top. And I was like, yeah, when did you see him? And he was like, yeah, I was following some of the games, and like a big shout out to him, like recognizing that talent when he was at Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
We'll
Cool.
cut a reel of this and share with Ishan.
Well, he gets a lot of things wrong as well. So even though he coaching clock is right twice.
He's the Rishabh Pant of this panel. He will get three reverse sweeps right and three of them wrong.
Okay. And cutting it to the last big game of the weekend, which was Liverpool against Spurs. So, any thoughts on that?
I think despite having a man advantage, Spurs should have got something out from that game. Like Liverpool were not so good.
Firstly, was it a red card?
I think there were two yellows for sure.
I don't think it was that bad of a tackle. It should not have
Are
been
you
a
talking
red
about
card.
the Simmons one? Sorry. I was thinking
Yeah,
about Romero. My bad, my bad, my bad.
Simmons, Simmons.
Yeah, no, my bad. No, yeah, like the foot was high. Even if there was no force in it, the foot was high. Like you have
See,
to.
it could have gone either way. And then I think this is one, I think, incidents where, yeah, it's difficult to argue kind of against it, because we have seen such tackles being given as red card before. So it didn't come out as an inconsistent decision.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Even though there's no force, because the foot is high, you you can't argue against it.
Yeah. But
Thoughts
And like,
on the game, like in terms of the gameplay and more importantly, the Isaac injury?
I mean, so unfortunate, right? Like, but again, we all knew he's very injury prone. Not his fault in this case, but again, sometimes some players are where they get into a position in which they are kind of tackled by players, which leads to injury. So yeah,
so I think like of course it's really bad and sad for Isak, but this might just liberate the Liverpool team. Like Salah is not there for the next 3 4 weeks. Isak's not there, so like pieces automatically fit with each other at their ideal positions, and that might just like now Soboslai will play right, Wirtz will play 10, Gakpo will play left, McAllister and Granberg will both play in the midfield, so it just might unlock the team. Like sometimes having less resources gives you more clarity.
yeah, and it might force them to sign Semenyo.
I hope they do so United don't spend on him.
But Semenyo is in great form, yeah. Like he looks like at least on form, he looks
Ready player.
amazing, yeah.
He is like
What?
a
Yeah,
ready
but
player.
it's like too many players for the same position. Now, वही हो
Yeah.
जाएगा.
Cool. Any last thoughts on the game week?
So just on Semenyo, right? I think that's what I'm saying. The difference between Semenyo and someone like Maduake. You see the goal contribution that Semenyo has, his finishing and everything. That is much higher than Maduake. Correct? And that is where the difference comes in. Like, do you want to pay 40, 50, 60 million for someone like Maduake, or do you want to pay like 50, 60 million for someone like Semenyo, who is going to get you much more goals, much more important goals and vital goals? So that makes a massive difference. And that is something that, I think Maduake needs to get into his game, like just his finishing, basically.
Age profile and experience matters a lot, like you said, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. He has time on his hand. He's
yeah.
still very young. So, like, he can improve upon that. But that is something that he needs to improve on. क्योंकि वो
No, but
एज का
that
excuse won't be there
comparison,
after 2 years.
correct. But that comparison, like if you compare Semenyo at that age and Madueke at that age, he's way far ahead of him. So the question is, Arsenal signing an Eze, who was ready to contribute immediately, and then signing a Madueke who was a backup to Saka. They were not signing another player on the left wing. Like Eze came in. So the basic comparison is Eze and Semenyo. The comparison is not Madueke and Semenyo. If you're understanding the difference, Vape.
No, no, I get the
They
age profile difference. It's just that
no
I
even
would have
profile.
also signed someone who's more ready then in that case.
So in
Because we
that case,
wanted to
then
win
he
the
would be
title now.
Yeah, because Arsenal's a
the same
win now
position.
team.
Yeah. Like I would have signed him now.
But he would be the same position now. Semenyo and Eze would be both on the left wing. They would not be on the
No,
right
no,
wing.
No,
Semenyo
but
would be
Semenyo
right
plays
wing.
right as well.
Yeah, he
Acha,
can play center forward. He can play right.
Yeah.
most
Yeah,
of
those
his
are his
shots are
two
being
best
left wing
positions.
only. Acha. No,
He
if he
can
can play
he can
right,
fill in
then
the
what?
Saka role. He
He
can
can
fill in the Saka.
if he can play
And
the
he can
right
fill
wing,
in
then yes.
the role on the left, which is your Martinelli role. What
Hmm.
what I have realized is that Eze wasn't brought in to play on the left. Eze was brought in as a backup for Odegaard, I guess. Because that is where Arteta has been using him when Odegaard was injured. And now that Odegaard is back, Eze is not starting on the left. It is still Trossard and Martinelli starting on the left or playing on the left. Even yesterday, when Trossard left, it was Martinelli that came on and played on the left hand side rather than Arteta bringing Eze on the left hand side. So in that case, I would have been like, okay, fine, you sign Semenyo who can play on either wings then and who has a much higher output. So yeah,
Do you think then
but it's
tactically
a
maybe
hindsight.
Eze should be starting ahead of Odegaard then? Because in terms of games where he
In
starts at that
Yeah,
position, he's more like he gets a lot more output.
yeah. In terms of current form, I think he we should be starting with Eze over Odegaard. Just in terms, that's what I'm saying. Odegaard, his output has dropped significantly, right? The number of goals contribution that he's getting, or number of goals that he's scoring, or assisting, or even making that crucial pass has gone down significantly. Whereas Eze, if you see last time when he played against Spurs or the game after that, his contribution was significantly high, and he was in his rich vein of form going on. So I think that is something that needs to be looked at. Like probably give some like Odegaard coming back from injury, give him like some more time, start with Eze and then slowly get Odegaard back in again. Once like get him back in form like gradually because now he can play Champions League game, Carabao Cup games and all that, and FA Cup games, and then leave the Premier League responsibility to Eze for now at least. So yeah.
Cool. Shall we wrap up the game week?
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
watching, everyone. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Do let us know what you thought about the action over the past weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.